worshiping in October October the what?
31st.
What are they worshiping? Halloween. But you see all the little black kids with them. Whose culture? That's not mine. We were made into a new people.
Yes, sir.
So why do we need a political identity? Over the past 460 years, Afrodescendants' identity has changed. Some former identities include nigger, Negro, color, Afro-American, black, African-American. We've been all those names.
Yes, sir.
Haven't we?
Yes, sir.
And the sister told me, what do you mean lost found? I ain't never been lost. Who else have had this many name changes?
Yes, sir.
When has the Chinese been other than Chinese?
Yeah.
When has the Korean been other than Korean? Huh? When has the brother in Iran who's saying I'm an Iranian been other than Iranian? But you and I in America, the United States of America, and over there in Brazil, we've been nigger, Negro, that might be unique. Yeah. The miseducation of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson, didn't he? And then color. NAACP, the National Alliance for the Advancement of what kind of people? Colored people. So we this our history. We gone through this. Can't nobody say we didn't. So say it loud.
Black and
brown. I like that. Why we got rid of that? We had some movement going when that was going. Maybe that's why. What comes after? Oh, that's too strong.
Right.
Let's switch that one up. I believe white folks switch that. Say, call them African American. That black thing, boy, they talking about Black Panther Party and they talking about unity.
Right.
And they talking about white men used to come. That's too strong. As my baby boy would say. We can't let them do it. We can't let them do that. Change that one up. Because it brought too much power, too much mobility. So we've gone through all these different names.
Yes, sir.
And according to one of the professors who was writing, and I think he was writing it for Mr. Muhammad, Professor Saminsky, I hope I'm saying his name right. He says, according to that Article 25, your culture, your religion, your language, he says, a person's language, but not just any language, their mother tongue, intimately ties them to their identity.
Yes, sir.
A person's language, as brother say it one more time, a person's language, but not just any language, their mother tongue, intimately ties them to their identity. So a person speaks Mandarin. What are they? Chinese, right? A person speaking Korean. What are they? Yeah, right? A person speaking Yoruba.
Nigerian.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Intimately tied. A person speaking English. We white. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You see? And they tricked the UN. To the UN say, I thought y'all were Americans. Wait, why you wonder why we let? Don't blame us. You were the one talking about I'm African American. Your language intimately ties you. So you hear the brothers speaking Arabic, you know where they're from.
Yes, sir.
It is true. And I think the professor wrote it for Mr. Muhammad because he jumped on it and came back. And he said, when we went over to Santiago, Chile, he said, tell them that we didn't come to the Americas as Anglo-Americans, speaking English and practicing Christianity. But also tell them that we didn't go to Brazil as Portuguese speaking, practicing the Brazilian culture. And also tell them that we didn't go to Colombia as Spanish speaking, practicing the Anglo-Spaniards culture. Because he had gotten the message, connect all of us. 250 million is a stronger message than 40 million. And that's where we need help. We need a peg on every one of those umbrellas. And we need to make the umbrella as big as the city of Chicago. You got so many black people who have power and growth and unity and can stand up like Chief can and demand we're going in this direction. Not one of us. Prince, when I came here, I was 28 years old. You were a young man when I first met you, very young. And you still got the fire. You still got the strength. You haven't lost the mission. But time. It's time for us to get this thing done. Don't you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Don't we owe it to the prince to go ahead and see it?
That's right.
And this is the best program for us. A name that we decided. We can say, well, they decided over in South America, we just gave definition to it, that we can get 250 million people going in the right direction. But not only do you need, as brother said, an identity. Along with your political identity, a government is needed.
Absolutely.
Now, it's been a small group of us, and I know we're not the only ones, but I remember in 1998 when Mr. Muhammad first set us up, we were in ministers, teach, Messenger Elijah Muhammad, Alhamdulillah, praises be to him. We were all religion, brother. But the man bought a flag.
Yes, he did.
And we were so dumb, all we could see was religion. But we got an incense right here. The flag represents nations. Mr. Muhammad said, we got to start doing what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. And that's forming the government. So he set us up, a group of ministers. I had formed a ministers meeting in Miami, Florida. He set us down. He said, what if I made you the highest house of Congress? What would you call yourselves, minister? And we came up, we'd be the Lord's circle of, we'd be trying to be spiritual minded. Because we've been spiritual minded so long. And I guess he was shaking his head saying, these idiots. I'm trying to fill them up.
Senators.
Senators.
U.S. senators.
Senators.
Senators, right.
Finally, one of us said the name. So that's it. You'd be senators. We were that far gone.
That's right.
We teach Islam,
Cream of the crop.
but we hadn't gotten to the point where we could get into government. And this flag came when Master Farah Muhammad came.
Yes, sir.
It had been here since 1930,
Yes,
but
sir.
we didn't understand. He called it the nation of Islam, not the religion of Islam.
Right. Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And we missed it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The sun, the moon, and the stars. It represents what?
The universe.
The universe. Indeed.
So you didn't hear me go into any part of the Nation of Islam spiritual side in my introduction, did you? You didn't hear me say, in the name of, you didn't hear me go, because I'm talking to the brothers that want to come under the Afrodescendant Nation, and you need to stay intact with your group, and come on, let's go forward. Forgive me if I keep saying brothers, but I know these brothers got the strength. We gave woman motherhood and love. You all love it. We gave brother all power, according to the book. We put in God's hand all power. And at the same time, we put in God's hand all loving. That's right. So you hear me talking to these brothers, because I know what power is. And we're going to stir this white man up.
Right.
We need that power.
That's right.
We got something for him that he hadn't been ready for. A government is the only apparatus in which reparations can be received. We were taught that. Mashaki Muhammad. She was taught. We took some people with us from Cobra. Brother Kalanji, back when. His brother, he was out of D.C. And Queen Dorothy. She passed away now. But Kalanji went there. He was excited. He had his speech. Boy, he was going to give a lecture like I'm giving. They give you 3 minutes. The queen said she had to take Kalanji's face. Said, brother, you got to cut that out. You got to cut that out. You got to cut. Say, by the time she gave him, he'd given her 8 pages, she gave him back half a page. That should get you to 3 minutes. That's the way you do things internationally. They're not going to give, because you got 40 other people wanting to speak. You got 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And he went there thinking that the United Nations was going to give us reparations. No. They're just an apparatus to help you identify. And now once you self-identify, now they can say, and they have said it loud and clear, the United States of America owes ex-slaves in America reparations.
That's right.
But can they give it, can they come and dig in Trump's pocket? They can't do it. That's where we come in as a political identity under the strength of
That's right.
descent.
Mm-hmm.
Through slavery, Afro-descendants' human rights were violated, thus making us eligible for reparations. Congressman John Conyers, we don't have to study.
Mhm.
He's been putting H.R. 40 up there
Every year.
every year for how long? We need to study and see if we are warranted reparations.
Long time.
Study for what? Did you live in America? What do we have to study?
That's right. Tell it.
Mm-hmm. Can't make it out of committee.
Yeah. That's your job to say, we got to study. Because you're a part of the United States government. But if you came to the Afrodescendant Nation government, you'd be saying, we don't need to study, we need reparations. Now, study. Did he violate us? Yes. Can we speak our original language?
No.
Do we have an original identity? No.
No.
Is he guilty? Yes. The study's over, John Conyers. I just done it for you. The case of reparations can only be heard in the World Court, the United Nations. Civil rights issues are handled domestically with national government.
Yes, sir.
Human rights issues are violations and are handled internationally at the United Nations. So we're talking about gross human right violations.
That's right.
We are severed from the person we once were. I'm gonna wrap it up because I know you've been here a long time.
No, sir, take your time.
The United States decided to separate from the British Crown and create their own government. They just two-legged white human beings. We have the same right as they do to say we're gonna separate from your crown and formulate our own government.
Yep.
Their founding fathers drafted their Declaration of Independence, and they had a preamble. You heard our vice president read our preamble. We've got one too,
That's right.
and ours is better than yours.
Hello. Stronger.
And guess what? Let's just look at the parallel.
Yes, sir.
Britain, the Queen, looked at them and said, those rebels, they're going against the Queen's crown. Those rebels. Today, those rebels' pictures hang on the wall. They're called the Founding Fathers. So when they look at us, they say, you know what they say about the black Muslims?
That's right.
Them rebels.
Right.
Them terrorists.
That's right.
In the future, they might have Governor General picture of
Yes, we will.
one of the Founding Fathers. Elijah Muhammad. I know definitely Minister Louis Farrakhan. I know definitely Silas Muhammad. I know definitely they might, but I just know what us rebels are going to be heroes in the eyes of our youth.
Yes, sir. And the prophet.
They formed a new government and nation, and they called it the United States of America. We formed a new government and a nation, and we called it the Afrodescendant Nation, made up of all parts of these great entities that black people are in here in America. Don't give up anything. Just find out where your niche is in the umbrella and come on.
That's right.
That's right.
Help us make laws that are good for black people.
Yes, sir.
Help us govern that's good for black people.
That's
Help
right.
us legislate. We got a legislative branch. And when you come before a court, you might get a fair trial now.
Right.
You might get some real justice.
Come on.
Just some historical stuff for you. Where are the black folk?
My Lord.
Yeah. Plow in the fields, right? But they did. Two-legged human beings. In secret. They did.
In secret.
And when Britain found out about it, she moved on, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
What you think they're gonna do?
And they had to call on France
Mm-hmm.
to come to their aid. What about when they find out about us?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Malcolm X. Malcolm X stated in his autobiography, the American black man needed to recognize that he had a strong, airtight case to take the United States before the United Nations on a formal accusation of what? Denial of human rights, not civil rights. Well, Malcolm, you were on the right track.
Just
We have
before
done
your
it.
time.
We have done it. Importance of government. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. In the October 8th, 1972 Theology of Time lecture, which you can get, they're recorded. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated, we want to have senators for ourselves. We want to build a Congress of ourselves, ruled by our own.
That's right.
Praises be to the Honorable Silas Muhammad. He followed this writing. He followed this word. And we have a Congress today, don't we?
Yes, sir.
All we're saying is, come on and get your seat in Congress.
That's right.
Under the Afrodescendant Nation. The importance of government. Question to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You mean your successor will preside over a new Islam? Messenger Muhammad, there will be no successor. There's no need for a successor when a man has got the divine truth and has brought you face to face with God. Then the question, how will your resources be administered? That will be carried on by the nation. After setting up the nation on the right way or right path to take care of themselves, they do not need any more instructions on that. They will follow it as the Constitution of America has been followed. Let me see it, Vice President. Where's our Constitution? We got one. Now, does it need to be tweaked? Does it need your insight? And that's what amendments are for. But we had to start somewhere. We couldn't wait for the masses to come.
Right.
Yeah.
We
That's
come
right.
together
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
That's
So
right.
we got something
Come on, brother.
that you can work on. And you might have something.
Go around.
Let's look at the documents.
Go around.
And it's for
No.
people come through that door. May 26, 2011. Revised and approved. Prepared by the Joint Constitution Committee. Chief Justice Amir Muhammad, Representative Samadia Shabazz, Representative Ishmael Shabazz, Senator Hussamuddin Fediyin, and Senator Taki Salim. Revised and approved. So this has been since 2011. This is what, 2017?
Yes, sir.
So it ain't like it's just that
Waiting on you.
we gotta get it.
Yes, sir.
We gotta get together.
Yes, sir.
We got to get together. And you gotta help us beat the drum. Next one says, will your administration, he already said it's gonna be set up like the Constitution on the previous slide. Well, will it be run by the local mosque? Messenger Muhammad said, no, no, no. After this, the whole entire nation of black people will be governed divinely. And the government will be a divine government and not something that is governed locally like we have today. We'll have a divine government set up for us. He didn't tell us we would set it up, because we were kind of out in the clouds.
Right.
We will have a divine government set up for us, and it will stand forever. That's what we're talking about.
That's right.
And our Savior has arrived. You got his books, page 113. Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentions government 5 times. He states we must have a new government, a new ruler, and a teacher of that new government, since it is not patterned after the the order of the old government or the old world. So white people stole that. They said, we're bringing forth a new world order. How can you bring forth a new world order when you've been ruling the world all along? How can it's going to take a new thought and a new idea and a new people and a new government that's
right.
trying to bring about what? A new world order.
Yes, sir.
So we need a new government, and it is forming right now. As the God of truth, justice, and righteousness, Allah is going to be the ruler or creator of the new government. Allah. What Allah?
That's right.
Allah. Because men govern and walk on earth.
That's right.
They have lofty minds, a heavenly state. Just depends on how high your mind is.
That's right.
Then by no means can he carry any of the old world into his new kingdom of truth, justice, equality, and peace. We must have a new government and a new people to operate the new government. See Ezekiel 18:31. I thought the Bible was a book of spiritual. What are they talking about government in the Bible for? The whole book is about us.
That's right.
And about this fight, the war of Armageddon. The fight for what? Government. The fight for good versus evil. Fighting for the hearts of the people. And right now, he's got the people. Black and white. We got to free the captive believer. Importance of government. The government that was founded and fully constituted is the Afrodescendant Nation. This government is for Afro-descendants that meets the criteria set forth in the definition. The government is designed to serve the needs of all Afro-descendants as a whole, regardless of religious or political views. This nation is for us all. It's time out for that foolishness, fighting each other, isn't it? We got one common enemy, the devil. We family. Human rights are the basic standards without which people cannot live in dignity. To violate someone's human rights is to treat that person as though he or she were not a human being.
That's right.
Have we had that kind of treatment in America?
Yes, sir.
A lot of people come for the American dream. I heard Samuel L. Jackson, he got on, what's the surgeon name that ran for president? Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
And it ain't right.
Got on Uncle Ben. The immigrants, the black immigrants. They said immigrants.
Don't compare them to.
How you gonna compare immigrants to people that were chained to the bottom of the bellow of a slave ship?
Ignorant, brother.
What you talking about, MF? That's what the said. Now I don't use that other word.
That's him. That's his
Well, that's what
word
Samuel
there.
Jackson said to Ben Carson.
Yeah. Yes.
He said, how you gonna compare what they're doing and to slavery and us coming in the bellows of ship, chained to one another, tossing us overboard because some of us died on the trip, and you're gonna say that comparison is the same as ours?
Fool.
Yeah, that's a fool for sure.
He needs to be called an MF. And my wife knows, she don't like me to use ugly words. But if you get, I won't use it from the roster here. I know I get a whooping if I get that when I get home. But what other way could you express it?
Samuel did a good job.
He did a good job.
Yes, sir.
Say Samuel said.
Samuel said. I like that. Well, we know we use acronyms. Like for we cut things short in there. Samuel Jackson said MF.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah. We cut everything short, don't we? Reparations. I don't need to tell you what reparations is. You know. It's the act of repair. Right?
Yes, sir.
Make amends. Satisfy. But you gotta make us whole again. So wherever we would have been,
That's where we need to be.
that's where we need to be. And
My
I
Lord.
know, because I live in his society. If you're late on the bill, Prince, money runs short. When you late in paying the bill, he adds interest and taxes.
Yes, sir.
And
Compound
penalty,
it.
don't he? And so now you late, white man, in paying the bill.
He really late.
And the longer you keep saying you ain't gonna pay, I ain't gonna pay, I don't think you
He owe
deserve
more
it.
money. He owe more.
That's right. what's gonna happen to the pot?
My Lord.
You gotta make us whole. And we're a long way from being whole, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Because I see what our neighborhoods and our streets look like.
Hello.
And I see what your gated communities and your streets look like.
Ooh, you should see it.
Under international law, reparations must, as far as possible, wipe out all the consequences of the illegal act.
Mm.
Was slavery illegal? The worst crime
Yeah.
ever committed.
On earth.
The Jews, they'll tell you, our Holocaust don't even compare.
No, sir.
Believe that.
No, sir. They're dropping the bucket.
This is international law definition. Reparations must, as far as possible, wipe out all the consequences of the illegal act
Wow.
and reestablish the situation which would, in all probability, have existed if that act had not been committed.
Oh, my Lord.
Now you
Yes.
do the math. How much they owe us?
Wow.
Oh, how much?
They ain't made a penny.
Yeah. You can't get. Just move. Give us all of it.
Be through with that.
And guess what? We'll give you the food stamps and the welfare. That's what you do for us. You give us the food stamps and the welfare, and you take it. Every time a light flicks on, guess what? Making money. Every time you turn your heat on, you're making money. Every time you stop the gas up,
Yes,
you're
sir.
making money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you build it for him for free.
Yep.
And he don't want to pay.
Yeah.
He got to. The universe just won't let a crime like this go unpunished.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
The man behind the mission, South Miami. I'm glad that y'all got a chance, some of you, to meet him and have that intimate time with him prior to. And a humble man. Boy, very humble.
Yes, sir.
That's why I try to come, because I know I can come across. My sister-in-law says, I said, confidence is arrogant. I said, confidence is arrogant. So I have to try to humble myself, bro. And that's why I want to talk versus getting up here. I saw it in my son. He was standing tall. I said, 22-year-old standing with his shoulders back like that made me proud.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Made me proud.
Yes, sir. Good work.
The Honorable Silas Muhammad was a soldier. What can I say? For the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
He was his top Muhammad Speak salesperson in the first rise. He said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, what do you want to do? I see great things in you. What do you want? He said, sales papers. He said, well, I'm going to make you a paper captain. He said, the reason I wanted to sell the paper is because the paper had Honorable Elijah Muhammad's words uncut.
That's right.
The ministers, when they teach, they twist too. He said, but in the paper, you got the pure of the messenger of God. So he wanted to sell papers and get the pure, unadulterated, pure truth to the people. I think that's worth it. Donald Silas Muhammad possesses a degree in mathematics and history. He also took law courses. In fact, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad paid for some of his school when he was here in Chicago with him. In 1977, he returned to Chicago by himself to resurrect the nation of Islam back to its original posture. Because Muhammad Muhammad had taken us more toward Orthodox Islam.
Yes, sir.
That's not what Honorable Elijah Muhammad had taught us.
That's right.
Honorable Silas Muhammad put his life on the line and say, hey, that's not what we believe in. That's not what we taught. We fly the flags. Why don't you take the flags out?
That's
He
right.
put all that back in. And he delivered the first reparation petition to the United Nations in 1994. So we've been at this a while.
Yes, sir.
He, his wife, me part of the time, some other dignitaries, my wife, Ida Hakeem, Ishmael Abdul Salam, we made a few trips on it, but Mr. Muhammad and his wife
That's right.
have made over 30 trips to the United Nations in Geneva. Now you can add up their costs, international flight. plus hotel, plus food, lodging, for 30 trips, and you're staying about a week at a time, that's a commitment for black people. I think he deserves a round of applause. Historical statements are available at that website, allforreparations.org. And I have almost all of them. And I'm not going to give you my copies. But you can just go back and get, and you know they're only 3 minutes. So you can go back and get pages and pages and pages and pages of his. Oh, they said something different this time. Let me write that down. Come back and then he'd give an intervention a different way. Using whose language? The scholar's language.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to give you a historical perspective.